How does a launch system work? The launch roller coaster is a modern form of a roller coaster, which has increased in use in the last decade. In place of a traditional chain lift, the launch coaster is essentially a ride with high amounts of acceleration, including launch systems such as linear induction motors, or LIM coasters, or linear synchronous motors, or LSM coasters, catapults, and other mechanisms employing a hydraulic or pneumatic power. Launch coasters are some of the fastest rides in the world. Launch coasters mainly feature higher speeds than normal coasters, and capability to give more intense layouts. These coasters, however, can be less reliable than traditional chain-lifted coasters, and are considered to require a lot more maintenance. Linear induction, or LIM, and linear synchronous, or LSM, coasters use electromagnets, which utilize large amounts of electricity to propel the coaster train along its track. 7 design companies managing these types of roller coasters are Vekoma, INTAMIN, Gerstlauer, Premier Rides, Maurer AG, Zierer, MACK Rides, and now B&M. For example, Vekoma has manufactured a ride in Walibi, Holland called Express. That ride utilizes a launch system. INTAMIN has made very notable coasters using LIM launches, such as Wicked Twister at Cedar Point and Possessed at Dorney Park. Gerstlauer has manufactured a ride dubbed ANUBIS, the ride. This ride uses the LSM launch, which is recognizable for making a long beeping sound. Premier Rides is well known for launch coasters, Mr. Freeze, Full Throttle, and the Skyrocket 2 models. Rides like the Skyrocket 2 produce an LSM launch. Maurer has made an underrated ride in the industry, Shock. This ride contains a 0 to 59 mile an hour LSM launch, propelling riders up the hill through a thrilling and intense layout. When thinking of zero launch coasters, one that comes to mind is Wicked at Lagoon. The launch will accelerate riders straight up at a 90-degree angle, then back down 90 degrees into one inversion and many intense maneuvers. MACK Rides is most known for their LSM coasters. Blue Fire at EUROPA Park is one of the most known coasters you can think of that has an LSM launch, that is by MACK Rides. B&M has manufactured one LSM, which is Thunderbird at Holiday World, located in Santa Claus, Indiana. This ride is conveniently the first launch wing rider ever created. This will propel riders into an Immelman and several other inversions. Electricity is transferred into a motor so that it controls the speed at which it will urge the car forward. LAMs are mainly used in Premier Rides roller coasters and INTAMIN impulse coasters. Hydraulic launch roller coasters give the riders high acceleration, yet with improved smoothness over the electromagnetic and catapult launch mechanisms. The manufacturer INTAMIN pioneered this new style. Notable rides are KINGDA and DRAGSTER. The heart of the system is several, usually 8, powerful hydraulic pumps, each capable of producing around 500 horsepower. Hydraulic fluid is pumped into numerous different hydraulic energy-storing devices containing 2 compartments separated by a piston. As the hydraulic fluid is pumped into one compartment, a gas in the other compartment is compressed. At launch, the fluid under pressure from the accumulators is used to drive a number of hydraulic motors, which spin a large winch drum that rewinds a cable attached to a catch car. The catch car moves in the center of the launch track with the motor at one end and the waiting train at the other. While the train moves forward, the pusher moves back from the motor towards the train. Once the pusher connects, the anti-rollback braking system drops beneath the track. In the KINGDA roller coaster, the system as a whole can produce up to 20,800 horsepower. These launches are considered giving a greater and smoother acceleration than the LIM and LSM styles. The acceleration from an LIM and LSM launch is the greatest at the beginning and dies off towards the end of the launch, but the acceleration from a hydraulic launch remains about the same speed throughout the launch. The first hydraulic launch coaster was XCELERATOR at Knott's Berry Farm, reaching speeds of up to 82 miles an hour. KINGDA at Six Flags Great Adventure, which opened in the spring of 2005, is capable of reaching speeds of up to 128 miles an hour. Hydraulic launch rides usually have a tower after the launch. Top the Dragster brakes after the tower, and KINGDA features a single 130-foot hill after the tower, while Stormrunner at HYPERSONIC offers a series of overbank turns and inversions after its 180-foot tower drop. RITA, the Queen of Speed at Alton Towers, does not have a tower, only airtime hills and bank turns. Stealth at THORPE has a large tower that travels to the left over the top hat and then slows down in an airtime hill with magnetic brakes. XCELERATOR at Knott's Berry Farm offers 2 overbank turns after the tower. A newcomer to the hydraulic launch industry is Vekoma, who opened a coaster in 2004 called Booster Bike at TOVERLAND, set to give riders the sensation of racing on high-performance motorcycles over a twisted layout at speeds of up to 47 miles an hour. Hydraulic launch technology faces competition from S&S, a leading manufacturer in vertical amusement rides, who in recent years created a new breed of roller coasters with pneumatic launch power. Their coaster model, the THRUSTAR 2000, was built first in King's Dominion under the name HYPERSONIC XLC. The ride has been clocked to launch from the rest at the station to 80 miles an hour. The coaster proceeds to ascend a tower at 90 degrees and descends vertically. Another compressed air launch coaster built in Fuji-Q Highland in Japan is DODONPA. This coaster is capable of launching passengers from 0 to 106.9 miles an hour in 1.8 seconds, making it the fastest coaster acceleration in the world. In the catapult launch, a large diesel engine or a dropped weight winds a cable to pull the train until it accelerates to its full speed. These rides are not often tall and usually achieve speeds of up to 60 miles an hour. Flywheel launches are used on some of Schwarzkopf-designed shuttle loop coasters and Zamperla motor coasters. A large flywheel is spun at high speeds and is attached to a cable that propels the train forward. Aerodynamics launched loop coasters, which were popular in the 1970s and 80s, use a powerful electric motor and tension springs to propel a launch car forward. The launch car pushes the train outward to a drop and then returns to its position. After the train reaches the opposite platform, another catch car works the same way. An example of this is Brew Revolution. Another type of launch is by friction wheels. The launch track consists of a series of horizontal tires that pinch the brake fins on the underside of the train. One example of this is the Incredible Hulk coaster at Universal Islands of Adventure.